Stop scrolling. If you could only visit one country in Europe, Austria should be at the top of your list, and here is why. From hidden ice caves that look like another planet to fairy tale villages so beautiful that China actually built a replica of them. Most people only know Vienna, but we are going way beyond the tourist traps. We've handpicked 23 mind-blowing wonders, including a stairway to nowhere and the world's highest waterfalls. You won't believe place number 7 even exists. Ready to see the most beautiful country on Earth? Let's dive in. If you're a travel lover, hit that like button and subscribe to join our global community. Lake Gosau is a small but incredibly scenic alpine lake nestled at the foot of the mighty Gastein Glacier. Known for its crystal-clear emerald green water, it provides a perfect reflection of the snow-capped peaks above. The easiest and best time to visit is from June to September, when the hiking trails around the lake are accessible, and you can even take a boat or go diving in the pristine water. This is also when the Gosau cable car is fully operational, taking you to higher pastures for even better views. January and February are the hardest months, as the lake often freezes over and is buried under heavy snow, making the walking paths difficult to navigate without specialized winter gear, and the reflection that makes it famous disappears under the white blanket. A mind-blowing fact about Lake Gosau is that its water is of drinking water quality, and because it is fed by subterranean springs from the glacier, it remains exceptionally clear, offering visibility up to 40 meters deep, a dream for high-altitude divers. Additionally, many world-famous explorers, including Alexander von Humboldt, describe this lake as one of the most beautiful spots in the entire world. Graz Old Town is one of the best-preserved historical centers in Central Europe, showcasing a stunning blend of Renaissance, Baroque, and medieval architecture. At its heart lies the Schlossberg, a hill topped by the iconic clock tower, Turm, that overlooks the red-tiled roofs of the city. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to September, when the city's Mediterranean-style courtyards are full of life, and the City of Design atmosphere is best enjoyed through outdoor cafes and festivals. January and February are the hardest months, as the steep paths up the Schlossberg can be icy, and the humid cold from the Mur River makes walking through the narrow stone alleys less comfortable. A mind-blowing fact about Graz is that while the city was once a major fortress, it was never conquered by Napoleon. He was so frustrated that he demanded the fortress be demolished. But the citizens paid a ransom to save the clock tower and the bell tower from destruction. Additionally, the Old Town is home to the Landeshaus, the world's largest historic armory, containing over 32,000 pieces of authentic armor and weaponry from the 17th century. The Grossglockner High Alpine Road is widely considered one of the most beautiful scenic drives in the world, snaking through the heart of the Hohe Tauern National Park. This 48-kilometer journey with 36 hairpin bends takes you to the foot of Austria's highest mountain, the Grossglockner, 3,790 meters. The best and easiest time to visit is from June to early September, when the road is fully open, the wildflowers are blooming, and the visibility of the Pastersee Glacier is at its peak. However, it is impossible to visit during winter, late October to early May, as the road is completely closed due to massive snowdrifts that can reach up to 10 meters high, making it the hardest destination to access. A mind-blowing fact is that this road follows an ancient path used by Celts and Romans long before modern engineering. Also, despite the thin mountain air, you'll encounter marmots, cute, chubby mountain squirrels that have become the unofficial mascots of the road and are surprisingly friendly to tourists. Lake Wolfgangsee is one of the most picturesque alpine lakes in Austria, stretching across both the Salzburg and Upper Austria regions. Surrounded by the majestic Hofburg and Zwölferhorn mountains, the lake is famous for its turquoise waters and the three charming villages on its shores, St. Gilgen, St. Wolfgang, and Strobel. The best and easiest time to visit is from June to August, when the water temperature is perfect for swimming, boating, and enjoying the vibrant lakeside terraces. Another magical time is December, as the lake hosts some of the most beautiful Christmas markets in Europe, connected by flickering lanterns on the water. However, November and March are the hardest months, as the weather is often gray and damp. The scenic boat tours are limited, and the famous Hofburgbahn mountain railway is closed for the winter. A mind-blowing fact about Lake Wolfgangsee is that the Hofburgbahn, which starts from St. Wolfgang, is the steepest steam cog railway in Austria, operating since 1893. Additionally, the village of St. Gilgen is the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's mother, adding a touch of musical history to this natural paradise. Wachau Valley is a stunning 36-kilometer stretch along the Danube River, framed by rolling vineyards, medieval castles, and charming historic towns like Dürnstein. This region is a paradise for wine lovers and history buffs alike. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to September, especially during the apricot blossom in spring or the grape harvest in autumn, when the weather is perfect for cycling along the river or taking a scenic boat cruise. Conversely, January and February are the hardest months, as the river cruises are mostly suspended, the famous vineyards are dormant, and the cold, damp mist from the Danube can make outdoor exploration quite gloomy. A mind-blowing fact about this valley is that it is the birthplace of the Venus of Willendorf, a small figurine dating back nearly 30,000 years, making this area one of the oldest inhabited sites in Europe. Additionally, the Blue Tower of Dürnstein marks the spot where King Richard the Lionheart of England was famously imprisoned in 1192. Whether you are tasting its world-renowned Riesling wines or exploring ruins, Wachau Valley offers a perfect blend of culture and nature. National Park Donau-Auen preserves the last remaining major wetland environment in Central Europe along the Danube River. Stretching over 38 kilometers, it is a labyrinth of sidearms, islands, and riverine forests. The easiest and best time to visit is from April to June, when the forest is a vibrant green, rare orchids are in bloom, and the bird life is most active. September and October are also beautiful for the golden autumn colors. January and February are the hardest months, as the marshy trails can become extremely muddy or frozen, and the dense river fog often limits visibility, making the landscape feel desolate. A mind-blowing fact about this park is that it is home to over 800 species of vascular plants and 30 mammal species, including the rare European pond turtle and the white-tailed eagle. Additionally, it exists today because of a massive civil protest in 1984. Thousands of citizens occupied the wetlands to stop the construction of a hydroelectric power plant, eventually leading to the area's protection as a national park. It is often called the Amazon of Central Europe. Hallstatt is a breathtaking alpine village perched on the shores of Lake Hallstatt, widely regarded as one of the most beautiful places on Earth. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a perfect blend of natural splendor and ancient history, featuring colorful 16th-century timber houses and narrow, winding streets. The best and easiest time to visit is during May, June, or September, when the weather is mild and you can enjoy boat rides on the crystal-clear lake or hike the surrounding Gastein Mountains. However, July and August are the hardest months due to extreme over-tourism and massive crowds that can overwhelm the tiny village. A mind-blowing fact about Hallstatt is that it is home to the world's oldest salt mine, dating back 7,000 years, and it is so stunningly beautiful that a full-scale replica of the entire village was built in Guangdong, China. Another unique feature is the Bone House, where over 1,200 hand-painted human skulls are displayed because the village's small cemetery ran out of space centuries ago. It is truly a fairy tale destination that feels frozen in time. Hohe Tauern is the largest national park in the Alps and one of the largest nature reserves in Central Europe, covering over 1,800 square kilometers. It is a world of high-altitude extremes, featuring Austria's highest peaks, vast glaciers, and cascading waterfalls. The easiest and best time to visit is from June to September, when the alpine pastures are emerald green, the hiking trails are clear of snow, and the high-altitude mountain huts are open for hikers. January and February are the hardest months, as much of the park becomes an inaccessible wilderness of deep snow and extreme avalanche risks, strictly limiting activities to professional skiing or guided snowshoeing in specific zones. A mind-blowing fact about this park is that it contains more than 300 peaks over 3,000 meters and about 250 glaciers, including the Pastersee, the longest glacier in the Eastern Alps. Additionally, the park is a sanctuary for rare wildlife like the golden eagle and the Alpine ibex, a mountain goat with massive curved horns, which were once nearly extinct but are now thriving here. It is a living museum of the Ice Age that remains untouched by modern industrialization. The Krimml Waterfalls, located in the Hohe Tauern National Park, are the highest waterfalls in Austria and the fifth highest in the world, with a stunning total drop of 380 meters across 3 tiers. The sheer power of the falling water creates a misty atmosphere that is both refreshing and majestic. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to September, when the snowmelt from the glaciers makes the water flow most powerful and the hiking trails alongside the falls are fully accessible. In contrast, winter, December to February, is the hardest time to visit, as the trails become extremely slippery with ice, and large sections of the waterfall actually freeze into giant, jagged ice sculptures, making it beautiful but dangerous to navigate. A mind-blowing fact about these falls is that the fine mist generated by the crashing water is scientifically proven to have healing properties for people with asthma and allergies. Doctors even prescribe waterfall therapy sessions here. Additionally, the falls produce enough hydroelectric energy to power thousands of homes, proving that they are as functional as they are beautiful. Zell am See is a breathtaking destination where the crystal-clear waters of Lake Zell meet the snow-capped peaks of the Schmittenhöhe mountain. It offers a perfect postcard setting that attracts travelers year-round for both relaxation and adventure. The easiest and best time to visit is during July and August for lakeside activities and hiking, or January and February for world-class skiing on the Schmittenhöhe Mavorne. However, November and late April are the hardest times to visit, as these are transition periods. When the weather is often wet and foggy, the ski lifts are closed for maintenance, and the lake is too cold for swimming. A mind-blowing fact about Zell am See is that the water in Lake Zell is so pure that it is officially classified as drinking water quality. Additionally, the town has a strong connection to the Porsche family. The legendary Ferdinand Porsche is buried in a private chapel here, and the family still maintains a large estate in the area. Whether you are taking a boat cruise or standing on the top of Salzburg viewing platform at the nearby Kitzsteinhorn Glacier, the views here are simply unforgettable. St. Anton am Arlberg is globally renowned as the cradle of alpine skiing, offering some of the most challenging and spectacular slopes in the world. Nestled in the Tyrolean Alps, this traditional mountain village is a paradise for winter sports enthusiasts and famous for its legendary après-ski culture. The best and easiest time to visit is from December to March, when the snowfall is most consistent, providing world-class conditions for skiing and snowboarding. Conversely, May and November are the hardest times to visit, as these are interseasons, where most hotels, shops, and ski lifts close down to prepare for the next rush, and the weather is often unpredictable with rain or melting snow. Additionally, it is part of the largest interconnected ski area in Austria, the Ski Arlberg, which boasts over 300 kilometers of marked runs. Even in summer, the village transforms into a hiking haven, featuring the famous Gulsigbahn cable car with its unique Ferris wheel system. Bad Gastein is often called the Monte Carlo of the Alps, due to its grand Belle Epoque hotels built on steep forested slopes. What makes this town truly unique is the massive Gastein waterfall, which thunders right through the center of the village. The easiest and best time to visit is during July and August for hiking and enjoying the cool mist of the waterfall, or January and February for exceptional skiing in the Gastein Valley and relaxing in the world-famous thermal baths. However, November and April are the hardest months, as many of the historic hotels and cable cars close for maintenance during these off-seasons, and the town can feel a bit like a ghost town with cold, misty weather. A mind-blowing fact about Bad Gastein is its thermal water, which is naturally enriched with radon gas. People travel from all over the world to visit the Gastein Healing Gallery, Heilstallen, a tunnel system where the combination of heat, humidity, and radon is used to treat chronic pain and respiratory issues. Additionally, despite its royal history, the town has a modern, cool vibe, hosting art festivals and attracting a younger crowd of creative travelers. The Belvedere is a historic building complex consisting of two Baroque palaces, the Upper and Lower Belvedere, set in a stunning park landscape. Built in the early 18th century as a summer residence for Prince Eugene of Savoy, it is now one of the world's leading museums. The best and easiest time to visit is from May to September, when the tiered gardens and fountains are in full operation, and the walk between the two palaces is filled with colorful blooms. January and February are the hardest months, as the outdoor sculptures are often boxed up for protection against frost, and the gardens lose their manicured charm under the gray winter sky. A mind-blowing fact about the Belvedere is that it houses Gustav Klimt's world-famous painting, The Kiss, one of the most iconic images of love in art history. Additionally, it was here in the Upper Belvedere that the Austrian State Treaty was signed in 1955, which finally gave Austria back its independence after World War II. Today, visitors flock here not just for the royal history, but to stand in awe of the Golden Period masterpieces that define Austrian culture. The Vienna State Opera, Wiener Staatsoper, is a world-class opera house with a history dating back to the mid-19th century. Known for its stunning neo-Renaissance architecture and legendary acoustics, it hosts over 350 performances a year, featuring the finest singers and conductors in the world. The easiest and best time to visit is from September to June, which is the official opera season. For the best experience, try to visit in May or June, when Opera Live on the Square allows you to watch performances for free on a giant screen outside the building. July and August are the hardest months, as the Opera House closes for its summer break, meaning no main performances take place, though guided tours are still available. A mind-blowing fact about this opera house is that it offers standing room tickets for as little as 10 to 15, sold just before the performance, allowing anyone to experience world-class art at a bargain. Additionally, the building was almost entirely destroyed by bombs during World War II and was rebuilt with its original 2002 11-seat grandeur. Once a year, the auditorium is transformed into a giant ballroom for the famous Vienna Opera Ball, attended by celebrities and world leaders. Perched on a rocky cliff overlooking the Danube River, Melk Abbey is one of the world's most magnificent Benedictine monasteries and a pinnacle of Baroque architecture. Its brilliant yellow exterior and massive dome dominate the landscape of the Wachau Valley. The best and easiest time to visit is from April to October, when the river cruises are in full swing and the Abbey's lush terrace gardens are open to the public. However, January and February are the hardest months. As the Abbey operates on limited winter hours, the famous gardens are closed, and the freezing winds from the Danube make the outdoor viewing platforms very cold. A mind-blowing fact about Melk Abbey is its world-famous library, which contains over 100,000 priceless medieval manuscripts and features a breathtaking ceiling fresco that creates an optical illusion of a higher roof. Additionally, the Abbey has survived numerous wars and fires over 900 years, and was even the inspiration for the famous novel The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. Its golden church interior is so lavishly decorated that it is often called the most beautiful Baroque church in Austria. Innsbruck Old Town is a stunning medieval center surrounded by the jagged peaks of the Nordkette Mountains, offering a unique blend of imperial history and alpine adventure. The crown jewel of this area is the golden roof, Goldenes Dackel, adorned with 2,657 fire-gilded copper tiles. The easiest and best time to visit is during May and June for pleasant walking weather, or December to experience one of Europe's most atmospheric Christmas markets set against the snowy mountains. Conversely, November is often the hardest time to visit, as it's a shoulder season, where the weather is gray and rainy and many mountain cable cars close for maintenance. A mind-blowing fact about this place is that the golden roof was built by Emperor Maximilian I to serve as a royal box, so he could sit in luxury and watch festivals in the square below. Additionally, Innsbruck is one of the very few cities in the world to have hosted the Winter Olympics twice, 1964 and 1976. And you can reach the high mountain peaks from the city center in just 20 minutes using the futuristic Hungerbergbahn funicular. Hohensalzburg Fortress sits majestically atop the Festungsberg Hill, overlooking the Baroque towers of Salzburg. Built in 1077, it is one of the largest and best-preserved medieval castles in Europe, never once captured by foreign forces. The easiest and most delightful time to visit is during May, June, or September, when the weather is ideal for walking the castle walls and enjoying the 360-degree views of the city and the Alps. January and February are the hardest months, as the steep climb or funicular ride can be icy, and the biting mountain winds make the outdoor courtyards very uncomfortable. A mind-blowing fact is that this fortress is home to the Salzburg Bull, a giant 500-year-old mechanical organ that still plays daily. Additionally, it houses a spectacular golden chamber adorned with gold leaf and intricate carvings. Because it was never conquered, the interior remains authentic, offering a true step back into the Middle Ages. For the Sound of Music fans, this fortress provides the perfect backdrop to the city's skyline. The Hofburg is more than just a palace. It is a sprawling imperial city within Vienna, that served as the winter residence of the Habsburgs for over 600 years. Today, it is the official seat of the Austrian president and home to world-class museums, including the Sissi Museum and the Imperial Treasury. The best and easiest time to visit is from April to June or during September, when the weather is mild and you can enjoy walking between the various courtyards and the nearby Heldenplatz Square. January and February are the hardest months, as the large open plazas and stone corridors can feel incredibly cold and drafty, making the walk between different wings of the palace less enjoyable. A mind-blowing fact about the Hofburg is that it houses the Imperial Treasury Schatzkammer, which contains the actual 1,000-year-old crown of the Holy Roman Empire and one of the world's largest emeralds. Additionally, it is the home of the world-famous Spanish riding school, where the graceful Lipizzaner horses had been performing ballet for centuries. Interestingly, the palace was never built as a single unit. It was constantly expanded by different emperors, resulting in a fascinating mix of architectural styles from Gothic to Rococo. The Prater is a vast public park and amusement center in Vienna, dominated by its most famous landmark, the Riesenrad giant Ferris wheel. Built in 1897 to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of Emperor Franz Joseph, the Ferris wheel has become a cultural icon of the city. The best and easiest time to visit is from April to October, when all the outdoor roller coasters and attractions are in full swing and the weather is perfect for a picnic in the park's green meadows. January and February are the hardest months, as many of the amusement rides close for the winter, and the open-air cabins of the Ferris wheel can be extremely cold due to the wind chill from the Danube nearby. A mind-blowing fact is that the giant Ferris wheel survived near total destruction during World War II. It was burnt out in 1944, but rebuilt shortly after, becoming a symbol of Vienna's survival. Another fascinating detail is that it was the setting for the famous 1949 film, The Third Man. And today, you can actually book a private candlelight dinner inside one of the luxury cabins for a romantic trip above the city. With its vintage charm and modern thrills, the Prater is where history meets fun. Bregenz is a cultural gem located on the shores of Lake Constance, Bodensee, the third largest lake in Central Europe, where the borders of Austria, Germany, and Switzerland meet. The city is world-famous for the Bregenz Festival, featuring a massive floating opera stage built directly on the water. The easiest and most spectacular time to visit is in July and August, when the festival is in full swing and the lake is perfect for swimming, sailing, and sunset cruises. January and February are the hardest months, as the damp, biting winds from the lake can make the city feel much colder than it is, and the famous floating stage is usually dismantled or under construction, leaving the shoreline looking less magical. A mind-blowing fact is that the Bregenz floating stage, Seebühne, is the largest of its kind in the world, and was even featured in the James Bond movie Quantum of Solace. Additionally, from the city center, you can take the Fenderbahn cable car to the top of Fender Mountain in just 6 minutes, where you can see 240 alpine peaks across 3 different countries at once. Highline 179 is a spectacular Tibet-style suspension footbridge that connects the Ehrenberg Castle ruins with Fort Claudia in Reutte. Stretching 406 meters long and hanging 114 meters above the ground, it offers a breathtaking and slightly terrifying view of the valley and the surrounding Tyrolean mountains. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to October, when the weather is mild, visibility is high, and you can comfortably hike up to the ruins on either side. January and February are the hardest months, as the bridge can become extremely slippery due to ice and snow, and the biting mountain winds at that height can make the walk across feel much more intense and cold. A mind-blowing fact about Highline 179 is that shortly after its opening in 2014, it was recorded in the Guinness World Records as the longest Tibet-style suspension bridge in the world. Schloss Ambras is a magnificent Renaissance castle located on the hills overlooking Innsbruck. It was transformed by Archduke Ferdinand II in the 16th century into a palace to house his world-famous collections. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to September, when the castle's extensive English gardens and manicured courtyards are in full bloom. January and February are the hardest months, as the uphill walk from the tram station can be icy and slippery, and the castle's famous Spanish Hall, though beautiful, can feel quite chilly despite indoor heating. Schönbrunn Palace, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a magnificent Baroque masterpiece that served as the summer residence of the Habsburg monarchs for centuries. With its 1,441 opulent rooms, it reflects the immense power and artistic taste of the Austrian Empire. The best time to visit is from May to September, when the gardens are in full bloom, and the weather is perfect for exploring the hilltop gloriette. Mirabell Palace and its world-famous gardens are a masterpiece of Baroque landscape design, offering one of the most romantic views in Salzburg, with Hohensalzburg Fortress standing proudly in the background. Built in 1606 by Prince Archbishop Wolf Dietrich for his beloved Salome Alt, the palace is now home to the Marble Hall, often cited as one of the most beautiful wedding halls in the world. The easiest and best time to visit is from May to June, when the geometric flower beds are in full bloom and the air is filled with the scent of roses. Austria is truly a land where every corner feels like a dream, from its crystal lakes to the peaks of the Alps. If these wonders of Austria captured your heart, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to join our community. If you crave more breathtaking adventures and hidden gems like these, stay tuned to this channel. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Which place should we explore next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and let's plan our next journey together. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next adventure.